Welcome to World Marine Media News. I'm your host, Mark Jardine. Our aim is to bring you a variety of marine stories from around the world. In this first show, we talk to Tom Morris of Mozzie Sails about the latest America's Cup launches, the plight of Weirwood Sailing Club in the UK, details on the special edition Crewsaver 165N Sport Life Jacket in aid of Cancer Research UK, and we talk to the skipper of the Upwind by Mare Concept Ocean 50. The America's Cup is going through a really exciting time as the AC-75s of each team are being launched. When it comes to the analysis of these boats and how they are looking, there is nobody out there better than Tom Morris of the YouTube channel Mozzie Sails. And I'm really glad to say that I've got him here with me today. And Tom, first of all, this is an exciting time for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's remarkable to be in this this studio as well. Quite the high tech time, but outside of the of your setup, yeah, there's plenty on with the America's Cup. This last month has been completely hectic with boat launches.
You must have been really impressed how, without any fanfare, Emirates Team New Zealand roll their boat out the shed and go for a sail. How did you find that from the defender?
It's remarkable. I mean, it certainly seems to be an ethos about that team of getting on and just doing things. However, from a technical perspective, that they hadn't even had the yacht outside to step the masts and make sure the shrouds are the right length. I couldn't even imagine doing the same thing with a bog standard dinghy that I'm sailing, let alone one of the highest tech pieces of equipment in sailing. So yeah, a remarkable day in unveiling for them.
And then you've got Alinghi Red Bull Racing. They come up with a boat that looks space age. That must have been quite exciting to look at.
Yeah, definitely. We always knew Alinghi were going to come strong with their history in the Cup. There's plenty of people in that team who know what it's all about. And yeah, the design, it looks like they brought some of their own ideas to it, but also an iteration forward on Teruhutai, the winning boat for the last Cup as well. So yeah, looks a strong challenger there, Alinghi.
And then Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. If there's one thing we can rely on with an Italian team, they're going to have a stylish launch, and wow, is that yacht stylish.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, the chrome paint job helps, but even when you look down into detail of the lines, it's definitely the smoothest boat we've seen so far. There's nothing forced about it. We have just seen American Magic pop out the shed yesterday, and maybe there's a rival there for sleekest lines, but we'll have to examine that in a bit more detail.
And then we're both British. Seeing Ineos Britannia roll out, you've described this as the outlier in the design, and it definitely has some different features, which, having watched your video on the preliminary analysis of that, really was a case of this has got some different design features.
It has, yeah. I mean, there's still a commonality in terms of having a bustle and a kind of a two-staging of the hull, but they have taken that to an extreme. They've got a really voluminous, kind of muscular, it looks like it's got some kind of macro features on it as well. In the front section, far bulkier than the other teams, and then it goes into this really thin skeg on the center line, which is really deep aft. So it seems to be an extreme of two concepts that we've seen in the Cup in recent years.
It was very interesting, the rudder position, having that rudder further forward. And you had some really interesting ideas about that.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment they are just ideas, and normally I like to come up with a solid base of evidence on all my videos, but with these quick fire kind of reactions to them, I thought I'd just put the idea out there. I mean, one thing we can see certainly is that the exit point for the rudder on their boat is further forward than any other team. That's undeniable. I think where the speculation kicks in is why they might have gone down that route. And I've got a theory that these yachts, we've seen them, they're all trying to get as much weight as far forward as possible and the lifting surfaces as far back, just so they can be teetering on the edge of balance and have their rudder do as least work as possible to reduce the drag and effort there. But my theory for Ineos was that they could have been going beyond the tipping point to actually where the rudder is pulling down, because these rudders are offset to windward. That pull down on the rudder actually adds to the righting moment of the boat, using the rudders in the same way that Sail GP do to add righting moment. Obviously, there's a drag penalty there, but moving that rudder further forward, because it's closer to the main foil in terms of the fore aft, means it has to pull down even harder to control those pitch poling forces, adding even more righting moment. The rules are pretty strict on where they can put the masts in the boat and where they can put the foils and the rudders, but it looks like Ineos are right on the limit of all those rules. So maybe they've come up with some sort of tipping point.
And we've seen the deck layout of a lot of the boats, where you've got the cyclors now at the back and the sailors at the front. But Ineos, we've seen very little of the deck, and it looks like on each side there are only 3 crew pods. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, intriguing. Yeah, it's always what you can't see which lets the imagination run away. So it's the big query, waiting for the boat to land in the water so you can get a sight down into it and see where that 4th pod is on each side. My gut feeling is that it will be slightly inboard and forward of the furthest forward of the 3 pods we could already see, kind of moving that weight forward again. But really, there isn't any complete certainty on that, so we might still be surprised.
And we spoke at the dinghy show on the Allen stand, and I asked you who your favourites were. You said the defenders are hard to go past, but you had a bit of a heart or gut feeling about American Magic. Having seen the hulls come out now, are your thoughts still there?
Yeah, I think that would still be my pick. I think we've seen a bit more of Luna Rossa, so we've seen her sail a little bit, and she looks impressive. Even on the old last generation foils, is shaping up pretty well. American Magic, we've had a glimpse. It's really been a glimpse, but there's a few things that already have caught my eye. It looks a sleek design, but I think the big takeaway for me was it's got a really low freeboard, so a big pedestal for the mast to sit on. And you can actually see the termination points for the shrouds as well, which means that the freeboard where the shrouds connect is low. So looking to really lower the center of effort in those sails on American Magic, which I think is a good route. But the conundrum is, with lowering all that freeboard, where is the protection for the crew? Where are the crew? We can't even see any crew pods. So that's all still yet to be revealed and kind of complete the picture of what's gone on with American Magic.
Well, Tom, many thanks indeed for your time. I highly recommend subscribing to Mozzie Sails on YouTube. If you want the in-depth analysis, which has really been thought out, there is just simply nothing better out there. So definitely take a look, watch his videos. Weirwood, on the edge of the Ashdown Forest, offers some of the most beautiful sailing in the southeast of England on 280 acres of water. But right now, Weirwood Sailing Club in East Sussex is fighting for its very survival after disagreements with the new landlord. We're able to speak with Simon Davies, Rebecca Ching-Smith and Annabelle Larkin from the club about the situation they've found themselves in. Simon, when did you realise there was trouble ahead?
It goes back, so it's about 2 years ago since the new landlord bought the company that bought the head lease from Southern Water. And the club has been trying to broaden the number of uses of Weirwood Reservoir, because it's 280 acres of perfect water close to a number of large population centres. But the landlord, when we started to discuss this with him, he said the only way this is going to work is if you forfeit your lease and you become just one of a number of users that have access to the water, and you must give up your unique access at certain times of the week and your access to the club room and clubhouse. And that was when that would have been probably around over a year ago now. Well over a year ago, in fact. It would be 18 months ago at least.
Annabelle, what does the club bring to the local community?
Okay, so our position in the local community, we have a very long-standing history with our local community. As you mentioned, the club has a lot of strong racers within the club, but it is so much more than that. So many of us have grown up as kids at Weirwood Reservoir, and now we have kids of our own who we are very, very keen to come and enjoy the beautiful lake as we did when we were kids. We also work very closely with other organisations within our local community. So, for example, the Sea Cadets make use of the sailing club. We run school sessions. We work closely with Young Epilepsy. So they bring their students to come and sail at the reservoir. So there's a number of community-based groups that make use of the sailing club.
Rebecca, how is the fundraising for legal costs going?
Well, it's going really well, actually. We started in quite a strong position anyway, but we obviously have projected costs forward, and we just want to make sure that we're covering our bases. So initially, we have gone out to our members, and we've given them a few different options, such as advanced membership to increase the cash flow. So you can prepay for future years. And then obviously the crowd justice page, which we've started. And it launched on Sunday, so 2 days ago. And already we're just short of £4,000 with, I think, over 50 different contributors from members themselves or also friends of Weirwood that have sailed there before or used it for open meetings, or people who really just want to support and not see another great sailing club be lost because of legal issues and our ability to afford to maintain our position.
I've only just published the report of the 2000 Open at Weirwood from the weekend. Annabelle, how are you finding the sense of community in the sailing world supporting your club?
Incredible, actually. Just the messages of support that we are receiving is quite overwhelming. And as you said, you mentioned the 2000 event that we hosted just at the weekend. I know I competed in that. My husband competed in that. My young sons competed in that. And it really, really just summed up that community spirit of everyone coming together, just enjoying their time on the water, enjoying competitive racing, and then just enjoying, having a nice meal and a drink in the bar afterwards. That real community feeling that everyone coming together, whether you're on the water or there just to support and you want to be part of that atmosphere.
Simon, is Weirwood Sailing Club willing to engage with the landlord?
Without a shadow of a doubt, it would be the ideal solution for both sides, because the only people who appear to be benefiting at the moment are the lawyers. We are, in common with a lot of sailing people, very reasonable people, and we are prepared to discuss almost any aspect of this, either the disagreement or the lease terms with our landlord, and we are prepared to do that at a place and a time of his choosing. So I think that's where the future lies. I don't believe that any side will gain any major benefit through going through the legal system. So let's hope that something can come out of discussions rather than out and out disagreement.
Rebecca, what do you find so good about being a part of Weirwood Sailing Club?
Oh, it's easy. The friendships that I made, they're lifelong. So we joined the club when I was 6 months old, and I went through oppies, toppers, 420s, lasers, fireballs, and these friends have, we go apart, we come together, but it was like yesterday, and it's brilliant. And I can only hope that my children and future generations have the same experience.
You can support Weirwood Sailing Club through their crowdjustice.com page. The website address for this is below. Crewsaver's iconic Crewfit 165N Sport has had a refresh for a very worthy cause, raising awareness and vital funds for breast cancer awareness, with 100% of sales being donated to Cancer Research UK. A limited quantity of the unique life jackets has been manufactured, proudly displaying the pink ribbon symbol synonymous with breast cancer. They are exclusively available via a donation link through a dedicated funding page with a minimum donation of £100. Crewsaver's Izzy George gives us the details.
Welcome to Crewsaver. I'm really excited to bring to you today the super limited edition pink Crewfit 165 Sport from Crewsaver. This jacket, in only 300 editions, is available via donation only. Now, what's exciting about this is that every single penny of your donation and the sale goes directly towards Cancer Research UK. We have chosen the breast cancer side of the charity because it holds such a dear part of all of our hearts, especially with such a female-dominated team. This beautiful, versatile jacket is available for any sort of recreational water sports.
The link to the funding page is displayed below. Upwind by Mare Concept is a brand new training hub for female sailors, launched in February with 11th Hour Racing as founding sponsor. The vision is to have a competitive female-led Ocean 50 entry in the 2026 Route de Rhum, and to grow the pool of female sailors who have the knowledge and experience to join mixed-gender teams for Jules Verne Trophy attempts. Skipper Francesca Klapczyk is here to tell us about the background and goals of the initiative. Francesca, how did Upwind by Mare Concept come about?
It's quite of a story of a really good collaboration between a great sponsor, 11 Hour Racing, an incredible organization, House Mare Concept, and hopefully a decent skipper as myself. And the three of us had, a lot of good ideas, a lot of chatting. It kind of came together. It was a bit of a puzzle to figure it out, each entity, what the goal of each entity was, and we come up with this great project about having more female sailor in multi-hulls.
The Ocean 50 is turning into a fantastic circuit. Was it obvious to use that as the platform for this project?
It was not obvious, I will say, because of course, it comes with a lot of challenges. It's true that there is not so much experience in multi-hull, especially for women in the sport. So probably the obvious and easiest solution, it would have been choosing, a already quite established monohull to gather a few sailors and go around and sail. And we choose the hard way because at the end it's also give more opportunities for the future. There are incredible events with all teams. There is a lot of research. There is a lot of events now with multi-hulls, and the Ocean 50 is a great platform for that. But obvious, I will not say that was the first thought that we had.
When you came up with a selection process, you must have worried about the quality of the candidates who had come forward. How did you find the people who applied?
It's a good question, because our goal was to really set a standard for the industry on how to run selection in a fair and open way. It would have been definitely easier to just go the way that normally, as the skipper choosing the crew that you want to sail with, and you just go with that. We didn't want to do that because it will not really give opportunity to a more open and fair amount of other sailors. So it was an open application, open for a few weeks, where anybody could apply, filling out a form that we tried to create as open and unbiased as possible. And at the beginning it was pretty slow, and we were kind of worried. I was like, hey, like, there is maybe no interest, or what's going on here? Like, people are not applying. And actually it's a bit the nature of applying for something. You want to take the time to make sure that your application is good. And in the last week we just got completely like bombed by application, and we closed the first phase of the selection with the open application online with 120 applicants. and going through, we went through each single application and read all the small lines, because that was how we wanted to do it. And the next phase was to select 12. So with that big number, it was only 10% of the application that we got that made it to the phase 2. There was an in-person selection here in Concarneau, and from that, the goal at the beginning was to select 6, and at the end we end up with 7. But we created criteria, so it was not just about I like this person or I don't like the person. It's full technical criteria, teamwork, a different background of skills, goals and motivation for the future, and how the personality were fitting not just me as a skipper, but the vision and the mission of the project overall.
You now have a fully international crew, and it must have been difficult to get down to that final 7. What are your goals for the 2024 season?
It was definitely difficult to get down to that 7, because the sailors that we had here for the selection were all incredible. And personally, the toughest day was really the last one, when we had to draw a line and be okay. We need to have the tough conversation with a certain amount of sailors that are not going to make to the team, and it was tough because the skills were there, and at the end it just really came out to an overall criteria that we set up for our team. And the goal is absolutely upskilling the team as quickly as possible. The first event is in St. Malo. The first act of the Ocean 50 series is in St. Malo in less than a month. So time is ticking pretty quickly. We have some sailors on board that has experience with the Ocean 50, but the majority don't really have a lot of experience. So we need to be really thoughtful about the training that we're going to do until the first day of racing, and building a playbook that it works for the boat that we have and for the people that we have on board. And I think that the major goal of the season is definitely learning the platform, performing our best, and learn a lot for next season, and also understanding what do we want to do on the boat to make it more efficient and performing for next season.
Well, Francesca, I have to say it's fantastic to see this initiative taking off, and we're going to be following your season with interest. Many thanks indeed for your time.
Thank you so much. And yeah, any following will be so appreciated.
For all the latest news in sailing, you can visit sailworld.com and yachtsandyachting.com. Sailworld is regionalised, so simply choose your edition from the drop-down menu at the top to find news relevant to you, while yachtsandyachting.com has a mainly UK flavour, but brings you important news from worldwide events. Sailboat racing isn't all we cover at World Marine Media, so be sure to also visit sailworldcruising.com, powerboat.world, fishingboating.world and marinebusinessworld.com to find out more from other ways of enjoying your time on the water. Whatever device you're using, our websites are fully mobile friendly, so you can keep up with the news while on the move. You can also subscribe to our email newsletters, where we bring you insights from our editors around the world, as well as a summary of the latest news. Thank you for watching World Marine Media News. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channels, follow us on social media, and continue to visit our websites to find out all you need to know about life on the water.